Hey everybody, PJ Kennedy here with Keller Williams Ballantyne Strategic Vendor Program, interviewing Theresa Green today, our in-house lender with Carolina Gold. Morning, Theresa. How are we doing today?
I'm great. How are you, PJ?
I'm doing very well, thank you. So, want to get all of our agents to really know and understand who you are, what you do here in the marketplace. I mean, you're in all of our team meetings. You're always a presence. You're always here, which is great. And so hopefully this will shed a little bit of light on those that may be afraid to come up and have a conversation.
That would be awesome. Yes.
Okay, great. So we've got a couple of questions here for you. So talk to me a little bit about you first before we jump into the questions. Tell me a little bit about your experience in lending, experience with Carolina Gold, Keller Williams Ballantyne, et cetera.
Sure. I've been in the mortgage business for 36 years.
Wow.
Financial business for 36 years, mortgage business for almost all of that.
So you got in at like 5.
Yes, exactly. Had my own broker shop for many years and then wound up going to retail and then came back to the broker side, which I love because it just provides so many opportunities. It's open to however many lenders we want to choose to deal with. So much different pace than a retail lender where they're just dealing with one lender set programs.
Sure.
Came to Carolina Gold 2 years ago in July. So been here 2 years.
Awesome. Well, cool. Let's dive into a couple of questions.
Sure.
Just around what trends are you currently seeing in your industry right now that homeowners, buyers, or agents should be paying attention to?
Sure. This business is forever changing, right? So much stays the same, but so much changes all the time. And I think the biggest thing I'm seeing right now is people are finally realizing that they're not going to be able to wait for 2% and 3% interest rates, and they need to get in the ball game. So trying to predict the interest rates is like trying to predict the weather in Charlotte. Like if
Sure.
you're going to wait for the perfect day, you're going to stay inside and miss the whole thing. So I think we're finally seeing people understanding that it's just not going to come back. If it does, we could make a whole nother podcast. We're going to have a whole different series of problems if we get back, which it would be great to have 2% to 3% interest rates for one reason. But as the economy, that's not a good thing. So
yeah, and I remember, I think it was a year or two ago, I was at Keller Williams family reunion, and Gary Keller said, if you're above the age of 25 in the room, you're not seeing those interest rates probably again in our lifetime. How do you feel about that kind of thing?
I totally agree with that. So I'm very old. My first house was double-digit interest rates, so I have to laugh. I mean, we took a 3-year ARM to be able to buy a home back, early 90s, going into the mid-90s, and, we got 9.9 on a 3-year ARM and thought we won the lottery. So, again, if you look at interest rates historically, the average over the last 50 years is like 7 5/8. So, again, we just got spoiled.
No, agreed. My first home was double digits as well. And that's
so you're young like me.
Yeah, exactly. I actually had no idea what I was doing. My first home was an investment property.
Oh,
I didn't even own a home.
Wow.
And thought that was the smart thing to do at 13%.
Yeah. Hey, so, it can be. It can be.
But I think there's something great about that for those of us that have experienced that, looking at where we're at right now in the high 6, low 7 range, somewhere around there, that it's not as bad as most people I think are making it out to be.
The media likes to push, negative and doom and gloom, and that's where
the media pushes a narrative. No way.
And then so many young people are, that's all they know is hearing this 2% and 3% interest rates.
So in your 36 years experience, what do you think, or what do you see as the biggest mistakes that clients can make when working with you or any lender for that matter? And what can they do to avoid those?
Okay, first of all, it's never a mistake if you work with me.
Okay. Let's call those opportunities.
Exactly. The biggest thing I tell people over and over again, especially young people or first-time home buyers, is they go find a house. They fall in love with a house, and then they decide, then they realize, we got to figure out how we're going to pay for this, and then they come to the lender. We should be the first stop. We should have everything in a row. Like, what does this look like? What's it going to cost? What's it not going to cost out of pocket? What do the payments look like? Don't fall in love with a $500,000 house if you want to make a payment that's $2,000 a month. Like, those two things don't go together. And there's so much misconception. People go online and try to, MD doctor themselves to financing questions, and
unless you got a 50% down payment.
Right. So I think that's the biggest mistake I see people making is the lender should be the first stop, not the last. Oops, we found a house we love. We need to make an offer.
Well, and I know we're not in that competitive of a time right now for buyers like we were during COVID.
Right.
Yet I watched many people not go through the pre-approval process, and the house wasn't there.
Right.
Like it was just gone. So,
But it's funny. We're in a strange time because I'm seeing either multiple offers and everything has got to be go, 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 go. And if they're not approved and ready to go, they're missing out. So then it's like, I mean, I had 2 this weekend, and I literally got a text this morning and one last night. Hey, never mind, the house is gone. So, it's being prepared.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, you do
priceless.
steps in order for a reason, right?
Yes.
Can you walk us through, your process and explain what clients should expect when working with you?
So again, no matter who it is, what it is, the very first thing we want to do is have a phone call. I want to talk to you. I want to know what your goals, dreams, aspirations, if there's issues. I mean, we want to get all that out. It's not about what's the payment, what's the rate. Like those don't even come until we know what we're dealing with. So like we can get into, there's so much about, I'm just looking for the lowest rate. There's so much more to a mortgage, so much more to financing than just what is the rate. So we want to have a conversation, find out what you need, what you want, where you're at, what your timeline is. And then we'll back into the application and what we need and put those things together and give you options. It's not just, hey, here's a mortgage. Like it should be options of what's going to be good for you, what are the pluses and minuses, why this loan over that loan.
Sure.
So much more to it.
No, absolutely. And one of the things I would say, it's not what you can get approved to, right? It's where you're comfortable paying, right?
Yes.
Because we don't want people living house poor either.
Yes.
So what advice would you give to a first-time home buyer out there, okay? Help them feel more comfortable, more confident during the transaction. I think a lot of people that I've run into in my history have just been like, oh, that's just not in the cards for me. My parents never owned a house, or it's just I've never taken on a challenge like that. How do you make them comfortable and confident about the process?
In conversation, there can never be too much conversation. So again, come talk to us. Let's lay out everything. Let's get your income. It's crazy to me. People don't know what they make. And I say that jokingly, but no one's paid X per hour at X hours a week anymore. There's so much entrepreneurial. There's so much with overtime shifts, like what you think your pay is and what the underwriter thinks. And again, no offense, but what you think doesn't matter. It's what the underwriter thinks. So breaking all that down, having history of pay, if you have overtime bonuses, commission, again, there's so much entrepreneurial income out there that, the misconception people have. And again, another one is like, I don't have 20% to put down. You don't need 20%. Oh my gosh, we do 100% financing in several different arrays. So that breaking those misconceptions or, oh, I have terrible credit, and they don't. Or if they do, we can help work on credit. Like we can run a simulator and, and it fix a lot of things. And again, there's so many young people that their parents are driving the thoughts, again, of what happened back when I bought my first house, which is totally another world. So we can build credit. We can fix credit. We can do things that need to be done if we have time and communication. Those are the two things, time and communication.
Oh, yeah, we love it when the dads show up to the home inspection, right? and I get that because a lot of times dealing with first-time home buyers, they've never done this before, and they don't know what's going on out there. So I think, a confidence or building confidence is very important.
Yep, trust and confidence. And again, you and I, we both live and sleep and eat and work and play here, right? We don't want to put someone in a house just to put them in a house or put them in a mortgage. Like, don't do the whole online, nobody knows you. There's no, it's hard to say to people, but trust us, we're here. That's why we're here every day. That's why we show our faces every day.
Sure, well, exactly. And you've been in the business for a while. You've seen trends come and go. And in the last few years, what changes have you seen? And then second part to that question, and I know you don't have a crystal ball or we wouldn't be doing this for a living.
Right, exactly.
What do you expect moving forward? So what changes have you seen in the past few years and what do you expect?
Great question. I think the biggest changes, and this is educating people, back during COVID or even prior, it was what's your rate? What's your rate? What's your rate?
Yeah.
it's not about the rate. And again, there's so much more to a mortgage. I can give you a 1.9% rate, but you're going to pay 5 points, right? Which people don't understand. Like you can come to closing with $100,000 to buy your rate down to 1.99. I joke with people. There's like, what's your rate? I'm like, what do you want it to be? Like we can back into that a lot of times, but there's a cost. There's a price for everything, right? So taking that super low interest rate may not be in your best interest. So again, having a trusted advisor, someone that you can talk to and explain, we want to know what your financial goals are. How long do you think you're going to stay in that house? Are you buying it as an investment property? Are you buying it to live in? Are you know, what's your time frame? There's so much more. And real estate today is about building wealth. It's not about the perfect time to buy a house. It's the timing of getting
hopefully generational wealth, right?
Right. So it's such a different flip, because before, when rates were 2% and 3%, you could buy a house cheaper and you could pay rent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was a no-brainer. Like it was almost disposable. Like if I don't like it, we'll just get rid of it, because I'll sell it for more than I paid for it, and I paid less in a mortgage payment than I paid in rent. It's not the case today, and I don't see that going forward. It's teaching people how to build wealth through real estate, and I'm a byproduct of that. I came from a farming family with nothing, and have built over the years through real estate. That's where wealth is built.
No, absolutely. And just for clarity's sake, you know, you talk about buying down a rate, for example, and this is kind of off the cuff, but when is the right time to buy a rate down, and when is not the right time to buy a rate down?
Again, that goes back to everyone's circumstances. How long are you going to be in the house? Is the seller going to pay for part of that? You know, again, we're going back to, it's not the cheapest rate and it's not the cheapest price in the house. We may leave the price where it's at, but we take $10,000 in seller concessions to buy that interest rate down. So again, it's not changing the price, but in essence, it did, because it lowered your interest rate, which lowered your payments. So everyone, there's not a easy answer to that. Everybody's situation is different. So it's being able to lay, and that's why I'm saying when we have those conversations and we'll go through those, hey, here's plan A, here's plan B, here's plan C, and here's why, and here's the pluses and minuses to each of those. So you can decide based on great information what's going to be best for you.
Okay, that makes sense. What are some common myths or misconceptions people have about your role as a loan officer in the home buying and selling process?
That my job starts when they find the house. I think that's the biggest misconception.
Gotcha.
And again, my job should start before they ever start to step foot out to look for a house. Again, what are the parameters? Let's make that fun. You've been in this forever. You have people that love the process, and then you have people that are like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I ever did. Right? It's how that was set up. Like
tax returns, what are those?
But don't take people out for failure, right? Like have the plan. This is your box. This is where you're comfortable. This is what you're looking for. This meets, this doesn't. Let's not even look at properties that aren't going to be something that falls into your buy box.
Gotcha. Okay. What red flags should buyers or agents be aware of, watch out for when evaluating a property in your industry?
If you or the buyer, potential buyer, go to the property and go, that looks strange, you probably ought to make a phone call, because again, we could, is there a hole in the roof? Is there, peeling paint with FHA? There's little things that we can tell you. We can look up and see property things too, and we can, hey, this type of loan doesn't care about that. This type of loan does. So, if you walk up there and scratch your head, you probably need to make a phone call back to the lender and say, hey, this could be a potential red flag. Let's not wait until the appraisal's ordered, comes back, and then we realize that, there's
sure, absolutely
an issue.
And I think for agents, one thing that I learned very early on was there's most of the time we're getting the inspections done before the appraisal, because if I'm worried about the condition of the house, then I want to hold off on that appraisal, Theresa. And then on the flip side of that, there could be, as you just mentioned, FHA, a VA, USDA, typically the government-backed loans. If there is peeling paint, right? With VA, you got to sand it down and repaint it.
FHA,
you can't get compensated
Which,
for
again, can be an easy fix. It's communication. It's keeping, I have some people, I didn't know I could tell you that. I want to know everything. I'll take the bits and pieces of what I want to know and help. The ones we don't need to know about, we don't need to know about. But you don't decide that. Let us. If the communication's open with the agent and the buyer, everything's good. Can't stress that enough.
For the most part, when we talk conventional loans, you're pretty good there, right? There's usually nothing that's going to push
Many
back
times
on
we
you.
don't even need an appraisal anymore.
Yeah,
With the decent, I mean, you're not
Appraisal
doing it
waivers.
at 95, 97, 90, or 100% financing. But if you're putting some money down, have good credit, there's enough AI out there in that property. Fannie and Freddie don't care to have an appraisal done. We're probably 50-50 on that.
Good to know. Very good to know.
Saves time and money.
What separates your industry, the vendors, from the average person out there that's a loan officer? And what should people look for before hiring that loan officer? And I want to take it to like, what should I go to my bank? Should I go to a private lender? Should I go to a mortgage broker? And can you just kind of break that down for us?
So, yes, and all those titles are great, but it's the person. It's the loan officer person, not the company, not the title. Who's going to answer the phone? 99% of, 99% of the issues or things that come up are not in banking hours, right? And I tell people that, I'm like, I will get up at midnight for you and answer the phone and do whatever you need me to do, but I need to know you're committed to me too, right?
Sure.
So it's finding someone you can talk to and trust and you in be able to get a hold of.
Sure.
So I think in my business is more concierge type. But again, once we have made that connection and we're going to proceed, then you have free reign to get a hold of me. I travel. That's my fun vice. I can be in Europe and people don't even know I'm gone. Like we just keep clicking along. Like
you got to shut that phone off every once in a while. What is it about Carolina Gold that made you say, this is why I'm aligning myself with Carolina Gold, and what sets Carolina Gold apart?
So again, boutique broker, we can pick and choose who we are going to deliver loans to. So, and then I love this. I do not want to, I'll never be the call center girl. I'll never be the 1-800. And I love the face-to-face. I cringe today because, again, old school, you used to come in my office when you made the appointment. It wasn't an app online. We had, and we could build a rapport, and I knew what was going on. I mean, I have people today like invite me to their kids' birthday parties, wedding. Like it's a true relationship, not just a transaction.
Well, and for all the agents out there, I mean, your office door is always open. It's right there in the hub where everybody's kind of hanging around anyways. And I've always just kind of popped in there, and you pause what you're doing. You're always willing to answer a question or help out.
And that's what it's about. Again, anybody that's been in this business or even tried to get a mortgage, when you can't get a hold of someone, like everybody's great on the front end. Oh, you're approved. And then the minute you have a question, that's where it all starts to go.
Exactly.
We don't want that. We want to be there the whole time and even after the closing.
So going through your experience, can you share with me a memorable client success story or a challenging situation where you helped save a deal, prevented, Chicken Little, the sky is falling, what do I do? And how you were able to assist with that to get it across the finish line.
We could make a series of podcasts on that, but one that is truly heartwarming to me that wasn't that long ago is I think it was the Wednesday, it was the night before Thanksgiving last year, and I got a phone call from an agent I've known forever and said, hey, can you please talk to these people and help? I don't know what you can do, but they sold their house to have new construction built. The house is ready to go, and the loan officer at the big box bank just called them and told them that they aren't approved the night before Thanksgiving.
Oof.
They're supposed to be moving the next week, right? So they have lived in a house for 20-some years. They're basically getting ready to retire, build a new house, their dream home, put their house on the market, sold it immediately, moved in with family, so they have everything in storage. I said, sure. So it's like 8 o'clock. I called them. Wife's crying. Husband's like, please do something for us. Got the application, pulled their credit, and there was a 540 credit score. There was never a loan there to start with. Big box bank had given them a pre-approval. They gave to the builder, built a house. They had the colors in every room. Everything was done to their...
And I'm sure a healthy deposit.
A healthy deposit, and they're homeless. And we closed in February. We went back and built credit, rehabbed the whole situation. But again, they were total open. Here's our lives. Do what we need to do. And they followed suit and did everything. And we closed in February.
That's like a 2.5, 3 month turnaround?
Yes.
Wow.
So we took a 540
Impressive.
credit score and resurrected it and closed. So that's probably my biggest, latest one.
That's right before
Yeah.
Thanksgiving too.
But
and the
again, that
holidays.
was,
Oof, that's tough.
that was a pre-approval, gave it to the builder, built the house, never talked to anybody again, and then went to, hey, we're ready to close, and, oh, you don't have a loan.
Wow. What are your top tips for real estate agents looking to build stronger relationships with a trusted vendor like yourself in your industry? And how does that create a better client experience?
So again, I'm back to communication. A mortgage is a commodity, right?
Yep.
Building trust, confidence, a game plan is not. So again, choose your team. The closing's only as good as the weakest link in it, right? There's so much. I tell people all the time, there's probably not another industry in the world that has as many hands in it and touching it through the process as a purchase of a home and a mortgage. Like there's so many people that have to play parts in it: inspectors, appraisers, the attorney, the loan officer, the realtor, just endless. So one of those goes sideways and it throws everything off. So building as an agent, building a team, people that you can rely on, you can get a hold of, and that will take your clients and actually make a plan, not just put them in a house. That's the biggest advice I would give.
I can definitely attest to that.
We have had several lately where the agents in here, we did from the perfect scenario, from the get-go, hey, go talk to Theresa, get the plan, we get them approved, here's A, B, and C, and then we back into, like, when they're making the offer. We did one the other day where the seller paid the entire closing cost and brought the interest rate down. Wow. So again, we used all the seller pays, but that has to be you and I totally in line, knowing every step of the way. And then here's the house we want. Here's what we want to pay for it. Let's back into those numbers. So again, the communication is just, I can't say enough about it. Like the team has to be, and people get antsy about that. They're like, oh, well, if you're pushing me to this home inspector or that attorney or that loan officer, you must be getting something out. I'm getting you to be in a house that you want, stress-free, happy, and loving it. That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. And as agents, we've got to give two references on everything, right? But I'll tell you, I've worked enough deals that I've worked some of the nightmare deals as well.
Yeah.
And
we all have them.
There's people that are in sync or in line, like you say, and it always makes me nervous when I'm using somebody that I haven't worked with before. Not to say that they're not any good,
right.
and not just your field, but any field out there. Home inspector, the paralegal at the attorney's office, right? You just never know.
Beware. Yep.
So I think that's probably why there is a comfortability with agents.
That's the biggest thing, is build a team. Build a team you know, trust, rely on. Somebody you give who would you send your mother to?
Yeah, exactly. What questions haven't I asked you, or what haven't we talked about in your industry that we need to know about?
Well, the big question is, what's interest rates going to do, right? And I get asked that every day, all day long, and twice on Sundays. There is. You're right. If I knew that, I would be on the beach with a fuzzy drink with an umbrella in it. I don't see them coming down. In fact, I think we'll see the Fed actually raise short-term rates, which again could have a great impact on mortgages. Normally, when the short-term rates go up, we see mortgage rates come down a little bit, but we've got to get this economy in shape before we're going to see interest rates start to come down. So all these people that are waiting on the sidelines, the prices of homes are still continuing to go up. You're losing every day. So it's back to not like, when is the perfect time to buy a house? It's when it's right for you and you can make it work for you to build not just a place to live and build memories. That's kind of like a byproduct that's really nice, but what can it do for you wealth-wise?
Yeah, I think that's some great advice, because I think everybody's like, is now a good time, right? And it's when it works for you is when it's a good time, because in my opinion, the sooner you can start building equity, the better.
Yep.
Right. Now I will tell you, I bought my last house in 2020, and I was probably not ready to buy a house at that point in time. And I saw the interest rates were and I was like, I can't afford not to at this point. And I had to change my lifestyle a little bit to make it work. Yet, I got to lock in at 2.5 fixed for 30 years. So that to me was worth it.
I will tell you, I have young people say to me all the time when they start to stick their foot in and they go, oh, I didn't know it was going to cost me that much, right?
Yeah.
in our kids today, young people today are very different mindset than we had. But oh wow, I that's a couple $100 more than I wanted to. I'm not going to be able to keep my car payment at X, which the car payments are crazy.
Yeah.
Depreciating asset. And then,
Talk about rates.
I'm like, it should hurt a little. Do you realize in 5 years the equity you're going to build, in 10 years, like it should hurt a little bit to have that kind of return. Like,
well, exactly. And it depends. So, anything else that we haven't discussed that we need to know from the Theresa Green?
Like I said, we
Gold?
could sit here for hours and days, but no, come see me. I'm welcome to any questions anytime. If I'm not sitting in this office, my cell phone's on me and happy to answer and help anybody in any way. So.
Well, thank you so much for being
Absolutely.
here. We'll put all of Theresa's information below so that you guys can reach out to her. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. She loves communication. So we'll see you guys later. Thank you so much, Theresa.
Thank you.